In a shameful act by the Australian crowd, Indian team was once again abused racially in the ongoing test against Australia at Sydney Cricket Ground. There was a lengthy interruption at the 86th over run mark. Mohammed Siraj walked down and complained to the umpires about the crowd behaviour. Indian team complained regarding the crowd hurling racial abuse during third day's play as well. Security officials then got involved and led a bunch of fans out of the ground. 6 people were removed from the stands at SCG. Cricket Australia issued a statement, and I quote, CA is awaiting the outcome of ICC's investigation into the matter. Once those responsible are identified, CA will take the strongest measures possible.
They've been guilty of saying things that shouldn't have been said.
That's a shameful act that they have indulged in right there in Australia. Play interrupted at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Australian crowd behaves rather shamefully. Indian team was once again abused, and these were racial slurs in the ongoing test against Australia at the Sydney Cricket Ground. A lengthy interruption also followed on the 86th run mark. Mohammed Siraj, in fact, walked down and complained to the umpires. He complained about the crowd behaviour. In fact, the Indian team complained regarding the crowd hurling racial abuse during third day's play as well. Rahul is now joining us. Rahul, what is the latest coming in? Any kind of action been taken?
That's happened on the boundary.
Well, as Cricket Australia has already issued a statement that the ICC is probing the matter. The 6 people who were calling Siraj by names were chucked out of the venue. And remember, this is the very same SCG, the very same Sydney Cricket Ground where in 2008, Harbhajan was falsely accused of calling Andrew Simons a monkey. You know, the entire cricket community, the entire world is behind that movement, Black Lives Matter movement. And at times like these, what has been happening in Australia is very disgraceful and shameful. The Australian media has been targeting the Indian players with some kind of stories, accusing Indian players of breaking the the infringements over COVID protocols, and now the Australian public is also targeting the Indian players. Obviously,
Let's identify the ones who are responsible, Rahul, at the moment.
Well, yes, the people were identified. That is, and this is after they were, that is the reason the security officials threw them out of the stadium. Those were the 6 people, and they've been thrown out of the venue. And after that, the Sydney Cricket Ground, in fact, flashed a statement as well that no anti-social elements will be allowed at the venue, and the culprits will be dealt with strictly.
Hold on, Rahul, right there. Boria Majumdar also joins us. Boria, what is the CA really waiting for, and why has there been no action so far? And secondly, what is the morale of the players at this point of time on the back of this incident that is taking place, which is rather very shameful for any country to indulge in?
First things first, breaking on India today, Ravichandran Ashwin in the press conference has slammed the Sydney Cricket Ground, saying Sydney is a repeat offender. He has gone very hard on this issue just now, saying Sydney is a repeat offender. Players are continuously racially vilified in this particular ground with little action taken. Ashwin has toured Australia multiple times in the past, and if this is the case, it is shocking. It is absolutely shocking. The latest you asked me, Chaiti, I am told that the police escorted the 5 guys outside. The police escorted them outside, but then no charges were pressed so far. Will they be pressed? Will they be arrested? Will they be prosecuted? We don't know. They were taken into a location inside the ground, interrogated for a while, but then they were escorted out. And I was sent that video, which I can't play because we have shots of the ground and that will be violation. But they are still chanting outside to the police and to the local television operators like Channel 7, abusing them. They are inebriated, they are intoxicated, they are alcoholics. They were still drunk and walked out. They were still chanting. So this is the update that I am getting. 3 things I want. Cricket Australia needs to make an example and charge them. Number 1, not just fine or ban. That does nothing. They will again land up in Brisbane and make an idiot out of themselves. This is a shame on Sydney. This is a shame on Cricket Australia. This is a shame on that ground. So charge them. Second, this zero tolerance policy has been carrying on in cricket for a long, long time, isn't it? What has happened? Has anything tangible happened? No. So ICC should now go a step further. How do you stop them? Just to say we believe in zero tolerance isn't cutting the ice anymore. If you are violating people's dignity, this sport is being shamed.
He's about that interruption right there, Boria. I'm coming back to you. I'm being told Norman Korchenek, he's an Australian sports journalist. He's joining us. Norman, you know, India wants answers at this point of time. The CA so far has not taken any kind of action.
What happened last evening?
Look, it's Norman here. Thanks for bringing me into the conversation. I have been here for the whole test match, and this is the third day where these incidents have occurred. And this time, thankfully, the players got the umpires. The umpires had the strength of character to walk over to the incident, bring in the police and bring in the security, and actually deal with these particular characters. 5 out of the 7 apparently they were involved, and they were escorted to a so-called interrogation location. And I had at that stage reported back to Boria on Sports Today about the situation and made it very clear that it was a situation that was at hand where there would be a form of fine charge and a form of banning occur from this whole process. With the backing of Kerry Mater, the CEO of Cricket from SCG Trust, as well as the Cricket Australia head Nick Hockley, the full support was about zero tolerance. But they were, in the end, they were actually let go. They were allowed to leave the stadium, which bewilders me somewhat. I'm hoping that they've actually gone through a form of charging and a form of at least a fine at the very least, and hopefully sentencing. And that hasn't occurred either. So those 3 factors should have been taken care of. They've got a significant command centre within this stadium. They had no reason whatsoever not to be able to handle it on the spot and deal with it. I'm hoping they have. So that they left the building and we were witnessing them leaving the building. They were still reprehensible and quite disgusted in the way they approached with their foul language and their certain level of racism comments, which were very clear to me as they left the stadium. I find this reprehensible. ICC should step in and actually make a stronger charge on this. I'm sure that both the police and the state and the actual security did the level best to get their act together here, and they've dealt with it on the spot, as did the umpires. But it needs to go much further than that. The ICC needs to go all the way, and the entire crowd, from the commentators of Shane Warne right down to the general public, were all disgusted with what they saw and heard.
What is your sense, Norman, as to why this is happening again and again? Because Sydney has been a repeat offender, and you did mention that the ICC should have a stronger stance on this. I'm going to take that across with our consulting editor, Boria Majumdar, who literally breathes sport and breathes cricket. I will take this across with him in just about a bit. But how is it that Sydney is such a repeat offender and nothing is being done about containing a situation like that?
Well, it bewilders me somewhat as well because there is sufficient police, security, and the CCTV footage here is immense. They can see right down to your hair nostrils. They've got very strong, effective viewing. There's no reason whatsoever not to handle it in the ground. I'm assuming that the first 2 days, well, there's not a lot of interaction with the players, but certainly yesterday was, and today was defiant. I was very impressed with the way both Siraj and then Rahane as captain, and then the 2 umpires, who are both Australian, by the way, handled it immediately, and the crowd realised that. And I think this was a watershed moment. I think we certainly, as an Australian audience, especially a Sydney audience, don't accept this and have got a great relationship with India. It should not happen. But I'm a bit bewildered at the slowness of the way that fines were handed out, if at all. So that's the concern that we've got. And I have no reason to believe why it hasn't happened. I can't understand that. Sydney, a repeat offender, certainly the last 3 days, I was appalled, especially today. The manner it was done was so public and so damning, it was an embarrassment to Sydney, to be very honest.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks so much, Norman, for joining us with that quick update right there. Boria Majumdar is also with us. Boria, what is the ICC doing at this point of time? Because even Australian sports journalists who we just spoke to felt that the ICC somewhere needs to take a stronger stance at this point.
100%, 100%. I mean, as I said, Ravi Chandran Ashwin in a press conference has just said that Sydney is a repeat offender. I mean, so this particular ground, they have been vilified in the past as well. Just to say that we have a zero tolerance policy. By the way, I did reach out to the ICC. I'm awaiting details from the ICC. Because it was pretty late yesterday night when the Indians complained, I think around 3 p.m. when we broke the story on India Today. So it was quite late in Australia. David Boone, I'm told, is supposed to file a formal reply and the ICC will deliberate on the matter. Norman, to question to you, question to you, Ravi Ashwin in the post-match presser has just said that Sydney is a repeat offender. Tell me something. If somebody racially vilifies someone in Sydney, on the road, on the street, what is the action that the police can take? Can he be persecuted? Can he be penalized? Can he be jailed? Can he be fined? What is the action that that person can be subjected to? Norman, if you can hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
yes.
so,
Look,
so the question I'm asking you, Norman, is if someone is racially vilified on the road, say if I'm vilified and I'm racially abused in Sydney, what is the action that the police can take? Can you charge the person, penalize him, fine, arrest? You know, what kind of action? What kind of legal action?
Absolutely. If there's something who's racially vilified on a public street or in a restaurant, they can take it to the police and take legal action one-on-one to the person who's done it. As long as there's evidence, there should be no problems with doing that. So exactly what you're saying. If it's done in a stadium, in a public arena, there should be no difference whatsoever. It's a political hot potato, I think, and the reason why it hasn't been done is beyond me. There was clear evidence. The CCTV footage would show that. They'd be able to mimic they would actually see the movements of the mouth. They would have enough evidence there. People around can verify. It's prosecutable. Absolutely. There's no reason why. It's no different being on the street.
If I can ask you a follow-up question, Norman, if I can ask you a follow-up question. The video that you sent me shows that you were standing right outside gate 9, and when the police was escorting these gentlemen who were intoxicated, inebriated out, they were still using slang. They were still turning abusive to television broadcasters and to you guys. You, for example, were standing outside. They were still being rude and abusive. Can you give us details as to what transpired when the police escorted them out?
Okay. I was there with other channels, Channel 7 and Channel 9 in Australia. We were visualising the actual location very close. And they came out, they saw the cameras. They almost like they enjoyed the fact that the cameras were on them. They then started to use a number of swear words and said how bad the TV channels were and that they should be allowed to talk like that. They were actually defending the people that did it. So it was worse than the actual incident themselves, I believe. 3 police officers escorted them out of the ground, and one of them leaving the ground, and they were left alone. So it's beyond belief that happened. And we witnessed that, we recorded that. We have a small clip of that. I think you had that, Boria. It's quite incredible that actually took place in front of my eyes, and they were chanting and carrying on all the way down the street.
If you can hear what he's saying, as an Australian journalist who has been part of the Sydney Trust, member of the Sydney Cricket Ground, Norman Kochanek is a senior member, saying that those guys inebriated came out and started abusing the television journalists who were there, and as if enjoying that moment. Can there be anything more reprehensible than this? And if no action is taken to this and we say, oh, we have a zero tolerance policy, oh, we unabashedly apologize, can that cut the ice anymore, Chaiti? Rahul, if you are also there, is this acceptable anymore? I don't think this is sport. I think this is far beyond sport, and this is an attack on humanity. And ICC, NSW, Cricket Australia, everyone need to act together or go harsh. Like Ravi Ashwin said, Sydney is a repeat offender. Take games away from the SCG. Ban the Sydney Cricket Ground from international cricket for a year. Shame them, because unless you do that, these guys will not learn a lesson. Chaiti, back to you.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, you have a very important point right there. Unless and until there is life beyond condemnation. Boria, as you mentioned, just an apology will not work. And the ICC perhaps. Now, CA is awaiting the outcome of an investigation to be carried out by the ICC. But the ICC perhaps needs to put its foot down. It needs to take stronger stance when it comes to incidents like this. And Boria was mentioning there is life beyond condemnation as well. Rahul is also with us. He's joining us live. All right, we'll come back to Rahul and Boria in just about a bit. But this is the point they're bringing across at the moment, that there has to be some level of action that needs to be taken. An apology just cannot work. And if need be, boycott the Sydney ground, take away the games from them, as Boria was mentioning. But we'll wait and watch to see whether the ICC ends up putting its foot down or not in this matter.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, Like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.